Good morning, my name's Richard Lannen, rhymes with a cannon, and this morning I'm starting with a weekly review. When it comes to my job, as I've said before, I am juggling. So one of the tools that I use to help me juggle work is something called Omnifocus. And I got into this many years ago, I'd say maybe 2 years ago, based on my cousin telling me that sales is basically time management. Now, this led me on to a massive journey of trying to find this, and I found a book called Getting Things Done by David Allen. Now, I'll put a link to that in the show notes. Download it, buy it. I highly recommend it because it can change your life in terms of being more productive. Now, so I use this tool along with a calendar, and basically they run my life. They stop me from forgetting things. If I don't put it on my list, I will forget something. My mind is not for storing things. As they say, you can probably only store 3 to 7 things in your head, and that's why you always do that thing where, oh no, I'll remember that, and then you forget. So my advice to you is get a task management system. I've gone with Omnifocus, and I'll put a link to that in the notes because it works on Mac, my phone, my watch. They all sync and it all works perfectly. Today though is something that you need to do with your list is what's called a weekly review. Now, I'm not brilliant at this, and I have to admit one of the reasons I can become overwhelmed is because I haven't carried out a weekly review, which basically you go over all your tasks and make sure you know exactly what you need to do. For example, as David Allen suggests, if you're cranking widgets all day, you can see exactly where you start and exactly where you finish. However, when your job is more knowledge work, the work never stops. You can just physically keep going and going and going, and that is itself a stress. So being able to define your work is step one, and that's something that I try and allow at least a Sunday or a Monday to carry out a weekly review to make sure I know exactly what I need to do, where I need to be, what I'm doing. So, that's what I shall do now. Welcome to the vlog. This review is taking so much longer than expected. So, quick update, that has taken way more time than I expected, but I'm so close. I've now defined my work. I know exactly what I need to do, I just need to do it. But I'm going to go to the office and do it there. Now I'm in the office. And now I'm back home again. Yeah, there was a bit of a jump there. Today's been quite a work intensive day. I've been really trying to focus on getting everything nice and tidy and cleaned up. As you saw earlier, I've now defined my list of items and my work, and now I really need to get on and actually do it. But I've also had a little conversation with someone tonight, a YouTube friend of mine, who's pointed out that in the party video, the music, the Indian music in the background, maybe, well, could get me in trouble for the copyright, which is what I suspected all along. So I'm just working out how I can adjust it with the video editor on YouTube. But oh, I got a coffee. This is cute. Look, Molly painted this. She said it was for me. It is about 9 o'clock and I am having an espresso, but I will be sleeping. How are you? Hope you've had a good day. Hope it's been productive. It's a bit of a chatty vlog, but the important lesson out of this whole vlog is look into task managers. That will save. If you've got to a stage where you're really stressed with work and you don't know what to do next, you're completely lost. You know how you get that feeling where, back to that book again. This is the short version if you haven't got the time to read the book or you don't want to buy it. You know when you get that feeling where you feel overwhelmed, you don't know what to do, but you write a list and then you haven't actually done anything on that list, but you feel better straight away because you've got a list. You know what you need to do. So basically that's the sort of concept that I use, but I just take it to another level so that each of those points are then broken down into very mini contextual lists. For example, all my phone calls, all my quotes, all my photos I need to upload, it's all there. And my life can turn into chaos if I ignore the list, I do not define my work, and I'm just plucking tasks out of the air and just doing what I think. So you tend to be putting out fires rather than actually being on top of things. So, as I said before, I don't tend to forget things, but if I do not track them or they do not go into that system, I will. It's inevitable. And it took me a long time. I used to think that keeping things in my head was very clever, and the more I could store in there and not forget, but I did. My mind is, I'd say, it's a creative mind. It's designed to think. It's not designed to store things. That's why I have a calendar. And that's the other thing. The best way to describe it is a trusted system that most people have is their calendar. For example, I do not need to look at, and if you've read the book, it's all in there. It's exactly how he describes it, but I'm giving you the quick short version just to say, yeah, that does sound like me. But it's, your mind trusts that system. It trusts the calendar. So you're not waking up in the middle of the night worrying where you need to be next Tuesday because it's in your calendar. You put it there, you know it's there, and you trust that your calendar, your watch, everything will bring up and tell you where you need to be with plenty of time. That's a trusted system. Now, a lot of people get into task management, but they don't really fully commit. And that's somewhere where I'd say I'm committed to a task manager. That my downfall is I don't carry out the weekly review. Now, Omnifocus is, I'd say, probably one of the better ones. I've tried, at least 4 or 5, but I've like the Omnifocus because there was another one I used to do, and I got it because it was slightly cheaper than Omnifocus. So that was the bit that sort of put me off Omnifocus to begin with, and then I sort of looked at it, and To Do is very powerful. It's very powerful, but it was almost, because there weren't that many boundaries, I couldn't create a system that would contain me, if you see what I mean. It was too flexible. Whereas with the Omnifocus, there's a little bit more structure to it where you have to do this. They've since updated it, that's given you extra context now, and you've now got tags, which is very similar to Do. I'm sort of there, but I've got the original system and the file structure is still the same. So you need to definitely look into a task manager if you do not have one. If you're in sales, if you're in any kind of management role where you need to manage things, it will just make your life that little bit easier. Also, this video is not sponsored, but I will try and put the link to it in the App Store or something like that. So maybe, if I can find it. You can get a free 2-week trial of Omnifocus, so test it out. And I'm going to go back to work because I haven't got long left. The coffee will keep me going for a bit, but I'm still need to sleep in the next few hours. I won't, it's not an all-nighter or anything like that. I hope you enjoy your evening. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, like, deal with all the things, or, and I'll see you in the next one. Until next time.